Hi everyone, the purpose of this short video is to show you how to use the Standards Insight tool to unpack the Common Core state standards. In the state of Wisconsin, several districts purchase Standards Insight as a tool that they use to look at Common Core state standards and also to compare that with data specific to their district. Here at UW-Platteville, we have a complimentary version of standardsinsight.org, the tool that you can use to examine Common Core standards. It's much, much easier than just simply Googling Common Core state standards on the internet. Here's what you do. You would go to uwp.standardsinsight.org and log in with the username and password provided. If it's been a semester, the password would have changed, so you'll need to email me for that username and password. When you get into the districts that you'll be teaching in after graduation, Standards Insight is not a free tool. Districts pay for that tool, so you could inquire if your district has that tool, and if not, you could ask if it could be purchased for you. Again, it's standardsinsight.org to find out more information down the road. For now, we're just using the complimentary version. So again, you're at uwp.standardsinsight.org and you've logged in. Now you're ready to start filtering out some information. So first thing you need to do is pick your discipline. What area are you in? Math, ELA, or are you looking for literacy in all content areas? Just for the purposes of the video, let's pick ELA. Now, the next logical item to filter out is probably grade group. Usually when you come here, if you're a classroom teacher or you're doing student teaching or pre-student teaching, you probably know your grade group. So we'll click grade group and I'll just pick 4th grade and we'll click apply. Now, the table that I'm looking at here has 44 standards because it's looking at all of them. And I've got lots of columns across the top. So I'd like to filter some of that out. So I'm going to click on Select Columns to View. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of all of these custom fields. Districts have the opportunity to filter, or I should say funnel in district-specific things. We don't have that option, so there's really no point in me looking at that anyway. Okay, so I'm definitely getting rid of custom fields. Now, because I already know I'm looking at 4th grade standards, I'll get rid of that column, the grade column. And I'm going to get rid of the standard ID column. I don't necessarily need to know at this point that it's RL.4.1. Maybe that could be useful later. Just for now, I'll get rid of it. And I'll also get rid of understanding. So for the purposes of the video, I'm just going to look at standard, evidence of attainment, teacher vocab, knowledge, and skills, and I will click apply. Now my responsibility has gotten a little bit easier here. I'm just looking at a few columns. The next thing I could do is, there's 44 standards here to look at, and that's a little overwhelming. Maybe I know in my team or in my placement, wherever I'm at, I just need to look at, say, writing standards. I don't need to look at all of the ELA standards. So I'm going to click strand, filter, I should say, by the word strand, and just select writing. So now let's see what it looks like when I just have to look at the writing standards. Great, now I'm down to 10. So I can scroll down. It's much, much easier to digest. Now, there is one more anchor that you could click on. I would leave it alone if you wanted to filter or drill down even further yet. I think a lot of teachers probably don't explore that, but you can try it and see what you think too. So I'm going to close out of that and just look at just 4th grade writing standards, Common Core state curriculum. The Common Core standards. All right, so here are my columns. Obviously, the first one is the standard. Then the next is the evidence of student attainment. If you hover over the question mark on each column, you can kind of get a very quick idea of what each column is asking you to consider. So student attainment is what could students do to show attainment of the standard. That should provide you with some inspiration when you're designing the vehicle for students to be able to demonstrate understanding, right? The next column is teacher vocabulary. These are the key terms that teachers should be able to interpret, explain, understand in order to lead the students. Now, there's a good chance that you're also going to teach these vocabulary terms to your students, depending on the appropriateness of the class, but they're definitely terms that you need to have a strong grasp on. For those of you doing your EdTPA, those are probably good vocabulary terms to include in your EdTPA language as well. The next column is knowledge. What does the student need to know to aid in attainment of the standards? Okay, so what do they need to be able to know? And the last column is skills, our skills. So what do they have to be able to do to demonstrate attainment? So this is just a really quick way, for those of you that are you're just doing a general Google search and looking for Common Core state standards, you probably would feel very overwhelmed. This tool takes the standards and filters them at your discretion and produces a pretty tolerable, I think, view of the Common Core standards, depending on what you want to look at. So again, it's uwp.standardsinsight.org. Log in with the username and password provided and start drilling down. If you have any questions, please let me know. Good luck.